Look at me, watch this now. You don't pull the whisk out the plaster when you stop. Watch this.
I told him he's like Keith Lemon.
And sometimes when that flies up, that'll hit you straight in the mush. So be careful, you've been warned. That's it.
He is a born presenter.
I'm Kirk Johnstone and you're watching On The Trowel. Today we've started a new lad, Leighton. So Leighton hopefully will be staying for good now, to be fair. He's a lovely fella. So this is the job that we're doing today. We've took over this job from another plasterer. I don't know what happened, but anyway, the customer got in touch with me and we're taking it from this point going forward. So we've landed here this morning. We've just dry lined this wall because the last wall had to be ripped off. It wasn't square with the grab line on the tiles. So we're going to now skim this ceiling. These boards have been up for a few months, so we've sealed them. We've put SPR on them, and I made a schoolboy error. I sealed them before I put the scrims on. So now the scrims aren't sticky. So look, I keep putting these back up, and they fall down just as quick. So we're going to mix some plaster now. I'm going to teach Leighton how to mix plaster, and then we're going to bed these scrims back up with some finish, and then start skimming. Right, so I'm showing Leighton, but I may as well show you guys whilst we're doing it. What you want to do is take your bucket first, half full of water. Never fill a bucket more than half full of water because it's literally 50-50 when it comes to finishing plaster. If you put more than half a bucket of water in, you won't fit all the plaster in there. So be careful. Just note this as well, when you pull this back, this little tab will have plaster dust inside it, so just rip that off. Give it a little shake first. You can see there, that'll be full of plaster. So make sure you do that. And then if you're inside someone's house in the bedroom, you haven't just made a big cloud of plaster go everywhere. It'll seem like you're not going to be able to fit the whole bag in. But you will. This will go down a little bit. Notice that when I stopped mixing, I pulled the top of the whisk out, I didn't leave it in. Watch the difference. When I stopped mixing, I left the whisk out a little tiny bit like that because you get a pocket of air in the middle. Watch what happens if you don't do it. Watch this. And look at me, sir. Look at me. Watch this now. You don't pull the whisk out the plaster when you stop. Watch this. And sometimes when that flies up, that'll hit you straight in the mush. So be careful, you've been warned. I always wet the tools before you put them in. That's a little bit thick. Battery's gone. Watch out. The other battery's on charge, fully charged. I need to put this back on charge. Okay, got. Right. Because all the scrims are hanging down, we're going to go first round and bed all the scrims back in. Once that's done, then we'll start skimming. So, this is Leighton's first day today. You could say this is like our first date because when you work with someone, it's almost like a marriage, you know. I'm going to be with this lad more than I'm with my own family. So it's important that you get on. Now, things didn't quite work out as I'd hoped with the last lad, Nathan, and he's gone his own way now. He's got another job and he's settled and he's doing okay. Things just didn't work out, you know. Not everybody fits with everybody else. But anyway, Leighton started, and I can honestly say up to now, look at him, it's his first day. I'm not asking him to do anything. Just by his own initiative, he knows what needs doing and he's cracking on with it. it's by a stroke of luck I ended up with him, really. He messaged me out the blue, and it turns out he literally lives around the corner. I mean, the fact he messaged me, and by chance it was just at exactly the right time that I needed somebody. I don't know if the stars aligned, but anyway, here he is. A nice young fella with good manners and no bad habits. Okay, so we've got all the screws coated up because they were falling off and doing me head in. Little tip for you, don't seal the boards before you put your screws on. My mistake. Anyway, we're rushing a little bit. All these are on, and they're starting to pick up a little bit as well before we've even started skimming, which tells me even though we've sealed these, it's quite warm in here. It's going to dry in quite quick. So now, I'm going to pedal to the metal, start skimming this. That's going to be interesting because it's Leighton's first day, and Leighton's basically going to learn to mix by flying by the seat of his pants. But I'm sure he'll be capable. So I'm going to start laying this ceiling on, and we'll get this job done. Oh, have you seen the floor as well? Look at this. See this tile floor? We literally, if we put dust sheets on this, they'll just kick around. So what Leighton's going to do is, whilst I'm plastering, he's got, show me cloth, Leighton. Yeah, let me show you. Leighton's got his cloth in his pocket, as well as mixing and filming. He's also going to do any wiping up of little blobs. But you know me, I don't drop much anyway. I try my best not to, so we should be okay. Now I know what you're thinking. Why have you put SBR onto fresh plasterboards, Kirk? Why have you done that? You don't need to seal plasterboards, do you? Well, let me explain a little bit. This job I've took over from another plasterer. Now, the other plasterer, I think he's gone just because he hasn't got time to come back. I don't know. His work ultimately looks quite nice, so I don't think it's because he's been fired off the job. I think he's just ran out of time, and I've come along. Now, the customer told me that these boards have been up for months. Now, I know that when plasterboards have been hung for a long time, they go very dry. I think they're sealed with some sort of vapour barrier when they come straight out of the factory, and over time that evaporates. So if you was to plaster straight onto them, it'd almost be like a high suction background. So it's good practice just to seal them first. Listen to this, it's not a massive ceiling, it's only about 10 plasterboards in total. I've got the little spotlight holes slowing me down a little bit. They're old boards, the sound block boards, which also means that they suck in quite quick anyway, but we've sealed them. But listen, what we've done is, we've had the door open where we're in and out mixing up in the garage, and then the thermostat has caused the heating to come on, so Leighton's just turned both of the radiators off now. I mean, you couldn't write it, could you? The house is just getting hotter and hotter as we're working in there. Now, I don't know if you can see that as well, but look, just feast your eyes through into the kitchen. See that ceiling's just joists in there. That's another little project that we'll be doing next. There's going to be lighting in the pelmet that goes around the edge of the ceiling that will light the ceiling up like uplights. A bit like what you can see on the kitchen cupboard there. See the light coming out the top of it? It's going to be similar to that. So, keep finding loads of rocks in the mix. Look at this. I don't know where they've come from, but anyway, we've just run out of stuff now. So Leighton, you're going to go mix another one. This ceiling is only about 10 boards in it, so it's not massive. But what's not helping is these radiators have suddenly just decided to start warming the place up. So we still get a little bit of background suction even though we've sealed them. So it is pulling in a little bit fast. Now, not too worried because in my experience, once it's had the sort of flatten in, it seems to stay wet for ages then, so we're not panicking. But Leighton's got to learn to mix now by himself. So off you go, mate. Go and fill that bucket of water half full and start mixing up. Now, Leighton, do you mind filming yourself do this? Just set the camera down. Leighton's got a big cheesy grin on his face here. You guys are going to see firsthand someone mixing for the first time unaided. So I'll let you go, mate. Half full of water. Well, you see me doing, didn't you? So you know what to do. All right, mate. Who would have thought on his first day he'd have a camera shoved in his face and be getting shown to thousands of people all over YouTube? Now the thing, this is what I call baptism by fire. That's it, try and keep it in the bucket, mate. Now, you might think this is a bit ruthless to film someone on the first day, because I know Leighton's going to make mistakes. Leighton probably doesn't know it yet, but he is going to make lots of mistakes. It's the only way to learn. You have to get things wrong to learn how to get it right. So, Leighton, make sure that is on the slow setting to get started, so it doesn't all splash out all over the floor. That's it, you can increase the speed now. And just lift the whisk up a little bit so the fins are sticking out. That's it, keep going, keep whisking. Go down a bit, keep there. There we go. That's it. Keep going, keep mixing now until all the lumps are out. We might just need a little tiny bit of water in there, just a touch. Oh. That's it, go round the bottom of the bucket, Leighton, as well. Right round imagine the crease in the bottom corner of the bucket. Let the whisk go round the bottom of that, so make sure there's no clumps of dry powder down there. Yeah, nice and quick round, jump, like that. And then bring the whisk up a little bit and turn it on its side a little bit, and it'll turn the stuff over. See how the stuff rotates in the bucket? That's it. And come round doing that. Come round this way, tilting it on its side. Tilt it more and it'll pull all the, it'll roll the plaster over. See, that's it. See how it rolls it over. Lovely. All right, mate. Let your whisk out and let it stop. Give it a little tap off. On its side like this, go down, and then just a little tap. Out the plaster out, you know what I mean? Bend it more down at its side. Perfect. That's it, mate. Now, these are only like these buckets. I'd say it's about 40 key. So if you want to carry that now up to where we're working. Good job, he's strong, hey? That's it. Now, my moment to shine again now. All eyes back on me. Don't worry, kids. Daddy's home.
That's the way we like it.
Let's get my handboard and trowel. Where do we put the bucket, Charlie? Stay there. Keep going. Now, the reason we're not using a spot board is because we've got quite a few things going on. So we're just going to take it straight out of the bucket for today. And keep things a little bit more simple until Leighton's up to speed of how everything works. That's a lovely mix, that, mate. What do you think of them t-shirts? Well, what do you think of that t-shirt I'm wearing? By the time you watch this video, I should have integrated my Shopify store with my YouTube channel. So if you'd like a t-shirt like that, well, in fact, there's loads of different selections. I've sort of paid an artist to come up with a few different designs for us. So there's a few different styles in the shop. There should be a link directly underneath this video, but if there isn't, then there will be one soon. Hopefully. I've been trying my hardest, but you know technology isn't my strong point. Watch, you know my technique. Take a little bit, go in neat. Yeah, don't go all the way into the angle. Just take a little bit and go in neat. Oh, what's that? What I'm finding on the plaster walls is like little remains of the last plaster, like little snots of plaster and stuff. But it's not the end of the world, we just pick them off as we go. set that down there and we'll time lapse this bit. Cut it again. Right, in case you thought I was joking about how warm it is, isn't it? Come here, look at this. Look up here. See this? It's drying out already. Okay? So, this isn't ideal. I'm going to have to get the second coat on now. We're going to have to mix up some extra plaster on top of what we've got. And we want a nice wet mix. And we need to work quite fast. So, as the king said, a little less conversation, a little more action, please. That's right. I am knocking up. I'm mixing up now on top of plaster that's already been mixed. Now, loads of fellas will panic about that and say, well, it's going to set the stuff faster. I'm not worried about how fast this sets because I can work faster than it'll set. What's happening is it's drying out. So with plastering, you've got a few things against you. You've got it setting, but it's also drying. Okay, they're two different things. At the minute, it's drying out faster than it's setting. So I'm not worried about mixing up on top of this plaster because it will accelerate the set time, but it's the drying out that's the issue now. So I just want to get this done as fast as I can so we can second coat it. My pet hate is little bits in the bottom of the bags. So I use them all up first. Get rid of all them.
You need like a theme song, don't you?
Yeah. Batman song and... The customer of this house is a really cool guy, and he's actually offered me a little space because I want to tell you something that's going on now. I got an email a couple of weeks back, and I'm soon to do a collaboration with another YouTuber. Now, if you watch any sort of building channels on YouTube, you'll know who this guy is. I'm not going to tell you, it's going to be a little surprise for you. But this fella's been on TV multiple times on different TV shows. And we're going to do a little collaboration. Here's a thing for you. If you can guess who it is, the first person to guess and put the correct name in the comments, I'll send out a free t-shirt for you. Right, that's it. It's all second coated. So now I'm going to see how much it's gone off over here, and if we can get a trial on it. If we can get a trial on it, then we will. If it's still gone too much, then we might have to give it the dreaded third. But hopefully we'll see. I think we're alright. What the hell is that? Why is that just popping? Anyway. Right. These are the joys you have when you're plastering over somebody else's work. It's ideal to do your own plasterboarding, and at least you know it's all exactly as you want it. But anyway, just random little scuds of plaster and loose screws and oh flipping. Anyway, listen, it makes the job more exciting, doesn't it? That radiator is still pumping out heat. Now it's off. I think when Leighton turned them off before, he actually turned them up. But, you know, we're not blaming him. These things happen, don't they? Okay. So, this is staying wet enough now to be able to trowel it up. So what's going to happen now is, I'm going to start troweling this up. I'll look after my own hop-ups. Leighton His name's Leighton. Okay, Kirk. His name's Leighton. Leighton's going to go and scrape the bucket out and wash the whisk off and everything. I'm going to get the plaster out my beard and out my hair, and I'm going to start smoothing this out. That's it with the first trowel. Been all over and flattened it in. We're keeping the floor fairly clean. Show on the floor. We just brush it up as we go. But that'll basically be the end of the mess now. There's just going to be 2 wet trowels and a polish and then scrape out inside these. And that'll basically be it. Leighton with an L, not a C, has cleaned everything up. He's washed all the buckets out, he's packed them out, so we get this done. And then hopefully we'll be home before dark. We're getting there.
Bit by bit. Bit by bit.
This is the good thing with this job actually. The customer who we're working for is spot on. And up to now we're spoiled with, I mean I don't need it, I'm fat enough. But the Feathers bacon butties, crisps, coffee. See, I mean, it's jobs like these where we try and stretch them out as long as possible. Just in face. The customer's like, you can sod off, get out of my house. So, this ceiling is not letting up. I'm having to every time I go over any part of it, I'm having to use loads of water. But it's getting there now. That's now had 2 coats, flattening the first wet trowel, and we're going to do the second wet trowel now, straight away, no time for resting. Second wet trowel, and then a polish. Now, let me just tell you a bit about this job. The other plaster that's done here, these were skimmed before the ceiling was boarded, so we've had to put screws on to tie back in again. So we'll have to patch these screws on next time we're here. This wall's going to get skimmed, this wall's going to get skimmed, and this wall's been skimmed. There's a few little hairline cracks appeared. So what we're going to do is, next time we're here, the customer's going to take this radiator off. The wall's solid, so we're going to mesh the wall, we'll put some rendering mesh on it, and skim over that to try our best to stop these hairline cracks coming back again. And then, I mean, there's all sorts to do here. There's, you know, come in. If you can look through into that room in there, there's that to plaster. There's work for us. Well, he might not have us back. I mean, I'm sure he will, but he's mentioned it. I don't know. I'm sure we're going to be doing the work with him. But there's all ceilings, and there's a room down there that needs plastering, and there's a garden room up in the garden to do, so. There's quite a bit here to do. The only thing is though, this is in North Wales, it's a little bit out of the way for me. It's not a million miles away, but it is, what was the drive? 45-minute drive. It's about the limit, it's about as far as I like to travel. I don't like to go any further than 45 minutes, so for all the guys that always send me emails saying, can you come and do a job for me, and you live in London, no, it's too far for me. No, little disclaimer, that said, if you live in Switzerland or Spain or anywhere nice in the world and you want to fly me out, I'm happy to come out. We've done work in Switzerland and Guernsey and a few different places. I'm happy to travel if it's like a little holiday for me and you get the flights and put me up. But otherwise, driving around miserable UK, no thanks.
Put both of us up.
Yeah, oh yeah. Leighton, well, we're going to see if Leighton stays yet. If Leighton stays, then he might have to come as well. You got another Coke? Leighton's bought us cans of Coke. Can I have one?
Yeah.
Take them with you. Cheers. Thank you. Okay, so this is it now. Second wet trowel. It's almost done. Leighton's done everything perfect. He would normally be moving these in front of me, but he's holding the camera and he can't do everything at once. So we're going to finish this now. There'll be a polish after this. Quick clean around the edges, and we've got to clean out these little holes here for the spotlights to go back in, which ultimately is a shame because all the little crumbs drop out when we do it. So Leighton's trying to keep everything on the floor spotless, but he's a little surprise for them. I'm going to scrape the inside of all these little holes and just completely cover this in crumbs in the next 10 minutes once I've finished this second wet trowel. So whilst we're losing a little bit of light, we're getting a helping hand. Leighton is learning electrics from our customer who's showing him how to plug these lights in so we can see what we're doing just before we start polishing. Nearly there now, not far off. Okay Leighton, you're going to be doing this. We can take this, plaster a small tool. Whilst I'm finishing troweling up here, you're going to go on, take the thin end, and you're going to push up as you're doing it, and just cut out these like this. Okay? Don't pull down. If you pull down, you can chip a bit off the face. If you do them up, it just does it nice. And that way then, the electrician will be able to get his spotlights back in with no drama. Loads of plasterers leave them sort of full of plaster. And then when the electrician comes along, he has to start trying to smash them out of a hand. Whereas if we do this, whilst it's nice and wet, it just comes out a double. So I think so you do that. Okay, so all the lights are in. Leighton's been around, Sean Leighton. He's put all the way in. It's like a little obstacle course for me now. It's like a little obstacle course for me not to chop one of these off of me trowel. But anyway, that's not a problem. We're going to polish this now and go around and clean all the edges up, and that's basically it. We'll be finished. And I'll show you the end finished product. This was meant to be a quick polish, but there was about an extra 15 minutes of me yapping to the customer, so the whole process just took us a little bit longer. Right, we're all done. Come up, look at this, come up here, Lee. Oh. Turn them around now, let's show them. There you go. See them all done. It looks wet, but it's actually just polished. So all nice and smooth. Come here. Now, Leighton, how was your first day, mate? Did you enjoy your first day? Yeah, it was good. What do you think?
A lot of organising the back of the van because of that.
He's had a good first day. So I think this is going to be a fruitful new relationship, me and Leighton. Right, cheers guys. See you on the next one.